Greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Today I have a very special guest, a guest who has dealt with Dogman. His family has dealt with Dogman 5 generations worth. Before we get into this interview, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters Volume 1, 2, and 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get into today's upload. Shall we? All right, everybody. Tonight I have a special guest with us. It is a person that a lot of you know. A lot of you remember his encounters. And a lot of you, well, more than a lot of you, all really had great things to say about him. Luke, how are you tonight, my friend?
Hey, Jeff. Hello, Dogman family. How are you? I'm doing actually pretty well. Pretty well.
That's awesome, brother. That's awesome. We talked for a little bit, so I know a little bit about what's going on. I got a whole slew more of subscribers since I last had you on. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to start. I know I filled everyone in with what happened to, your granddad when he was young, all the way up until, but if you want to rehash any of it, the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Hello. Good evening, everybody. My name is Luke. Originally from Taylor, Mississippi, the infamous Taylor, Mississippi. So, pretty much my family, all the way up to my grandfather, possibly my great grandfather, had have had encounters with these things you call dogmen, but my family call them walking wolves. I lost my grandfather due to one of those things being on my property. And pretty much the way that it went down was I had a friend, because the area that I lived in, there was really no kids around, so it was just pretty much me and a whole bunch of adults. So I would always just walk the property and just go play by the river or by the lake and just do shit a young kid would do. So, and that time I met one of those Bigfoot type creatures. We call them woodsmen. So actually became a good friend of mine. So I've known him for majority of my life. So I used to just go out there whenever I got a chance, go play, do what kids do, but a little bit different due to the fact I was playing with those woodsmen or a woodsman. So fast forward into my 20s, I think I was roughly I just probably turned 21 or so. I just went out there to just go chill and hang out, thinking that my friend was going to be there. So I was calling out for him because I gave him the name Big Red because he was big, and his fur is like a burgundy but red color. So that's pretty much what I initially called him. So it was one of these days when it was nice outside. It was daytime, really. Was it? Yeah, it was daytime. So late in the afternoon. So I'm going looking for him, but I can't find him. He wasn't there that day. So I was having this feeling like something was off. So I decided to go back to the house. And as I was doing that, I was hearing movements within the brush. So me being me, thinking that it was my friend, I turned around, trying to go towards the noise that I hear inside the brush, and I happened to see this dark brown dog, man. What you call it? These walking wolves. I'm sorry. It was crouched. So as I see that, it stood up, and then I start backpedaling slowly, and then three more came out. and then it had me surrounded. So as I'm pretty much surrounded by things. I don't think I gave the description of them. Uh, the one of them was the one that came out the brush first was about like 7 foot, maybe a 7.5 foot. It was dark brown. The other three, one of them was about 6 feet or so, light brown color, and the other two was like a medium brown. So as I'm being surrounded, I hear something coming through the brush, just bulldozing its way through, and it was my friend. So long story short, he gets between me and them. He pushes me to run. I take off. The light brown wolf gives chase, jumping. It catches it, hits it to the ground, and steps on it. I make it to the house, tell my family, tell my dad, tell my grandfather. My grandfather goes out there. A couple shots ring off. Grandfather comes back saying that he thinks he should be good. A week or so later, my grandfather was found in his shed, dead, or whatever barn, whatever the thing was. So, oh man, whew.
It's been a while, brother. Take your time.
Oh man, wow. Oh, yeah, you think 20 years? I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so long story short, we call the authorities. They come, Fish and Wildlife, some other people, some other alphabet government agency, I don't know who they say they were on our property. They was there for a few days. Once they left, my dad and his friends went out going looking for these things that killed my grandfather, but they found a whole bunch of chaos, so they abandoned their mission. So, and then eventually, sorry.
I'm sorry, brother. Take your time.
Man. So eventually, some time passed, and pretty much things was pretty much peaceful. It was peaceful for a while. So, but there's a certain time of the year that these walking wolves migrate my property. Like we hear them, we see them, we smell them, but they never like came close to the houses or whatever. So one day, me and my dad, because every so often we decide to we usually just walk the property to make sure everything's good. There's nothing damaged. There's nothing that's a hazard. People that's not supposed to be there. We come across this den type thing. It was like in the ground. I think it was like maybe 3.5, maybe 4 feet wide. And as I'm looking down there, I was hearing like breathing, like something was sleeping down there. And the wind had changed direction. It started blowing inwards towards to that cave-like den thing. So I heard a light growl. As I did that, I got out of there. My dad at the time was opposite sides of the den, like ahead of it. So his scent wasn't carried in there. And he was like maybe about a good, maybe 20 feet away from me, 20, 30 feet away from me. So we get on our ATVs, we head back. My dad was like, shit, we effed up. I think it carried our scent in there. I was like, nah, Dad, not you. My scent got in there. I was the only one that was around that touching the shit. So, a couple days go by or so. I felt uneasy, like, yo, this is not over. So what I did was I sent my wife and my kids to her sisters to go spend a few days there. decided to have I have a gun cabinet on the side of the bed. I have a handgun, 45 I think it was at the time, under my bed. As I was sleeping under my pillow, I'm sorry, not under my bed, under my pillows, I was sleeping with it. So I was in the house, I was sleeping. It was like around 11 o'clock at night, I believe it was. Something told me to wake up, but as I woke up, I also had the feeling I had the strong urge not to move so fast. So as I opened my eyes, I see this thing in my room just standing there like a few feet away from me. Mm-hmm. So, as I'm doing that, like, scariest thing that I ever went through, tears coming out my eyes. It's like, what I'm saying to myself, what I'm going to do, if I do something, I have to be quick with it. So I reach for it grabs me by my shoulder, picks me up, and just rams me into the wall, or throws me into the wall, however you want. I still had my gun in my hand, so I was able to fire a couple shots. As I ran over to my bathroom, my bed's on the wall, the headboard's on the wall. My bathroom is on the right side of my bed, about a good 15 feet from where my bed is, maybe a little more. I run in there, lock the door, and try to barricade myself in there. As I'm there, first thing it does is it takes its claws and just scratches the door and just toying with the door as it's picking it apart. So I fire another couple rounds at it. I think I hit it once, but still just chipping away. I'm not exactly sure how many rounds I had left, though, but it wasn't that many, maybe 4 or 5 rounds left. So as I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do, like, it's going to come in here, it's going to kill me. I might get enough to get a headshot, with the bullet penetrate. All this shit's running through my head. And then, like, I hear gunshots coming off from the stairs. Because right outside my door, the stairway is about 15 feet, and it's like a U. So he's coming up firing, excuse me. And I fire the rest, and then this thing takes off. As it takes off, it runs through the same door that it came through. I'm still conscious, but badly injured. My shoulder was wrecked. I can't really move it. I was moving it at the time, but like when the adrenaline and all that stuff wore off, I damn near didn't have no use of the arm, so I went to the hospital. Got stitches, shots. They asked me what happened. I told them I heard some noise. I went to go investigate, and I got attacked by a cat of some sort. They didn't believe the story, but that's pretty much where everything went so far. So funniest thing was, I didn't say this last time I was there. My dad did come to my house in his boxers.
Yeah, no, I shared that. That was in what you said.
Yeah, I know you did say that. No, but I didn't give you this part. He also was in a hospital with me in his boxers. Yeah, he was so worried about me that he forgot to put pants on.
Dang.
Good, yeah. Anyway, so I was there. Probably I was not even a day or so.
You were in the hospital for like a day, because I remember you had reached out to me right around the time. I think it was like after or a couple days before this went down. It was right around that time, because I had shared the detailed history of like your grandfather growing up in the area, An important thing is, like, for those of you that are new to Luke, his property that he had grown up on, his great grandfather owned it. Like, this is generations of family members living there. So didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. You're good. Yeah, so we go home. They fix the doors. They reinforce the doors, some of the windows, and things like that. And I really didn't have any more issues until a little further on. But I go to at that time my dad's birthday was coming up, so I gave a suggestion that we go camping and stuff with a couple of his buddies and things like that. I'm pretty sure you shared the reason why I initially went up there.
Yeah.
So I go up there. It was nice. It was peaceful. Started looking around because I started walking a few miles. That's not walking. We was on our ATVs. Our AT2. I mean, we had one or two. No, we had about like two. Yeah, two. No, two or three. I don't even remember. It was a few ATVs. It was like four of us. So we go. We hear some weird shit going on. Then we happen to stumble across a family. It was Bigfoot, and they didn't like the fact that we was in their home. So they started tossing some rocks at us to get us away, but in actuality, they was getting our attention while the bigger ones snuck up behind us and pretty much scared the crap out of us. So long story short, one of my dad's friends shot at it, missed. He got pissed. He roared. He started throwing stuff, left charged, and we got out of there. And then we didn't go back out for the rest of the day. Maybe the next day or the day after. I had to get my mind off of this. We went fishing and a whole bunch of stuff. It was a good day. So we had a couple of coolers. So I had one strapped on mine because I think it was okay. So it was three. It was three ATVs and a couple of coolers. Two person, one ATV, and two other people had their own ATV. So we carry the coolers. We hook one up to one of the other guys' ATVs, and then we hook the other one to mines with bungee straps and whatnot, however you want to call those things. So we're taking off, and back to the RV, and like we started hearing something like chasing us. So I'm thinking it was one of them walking wolves, and it wasn't. It was something totally different. Totally different. It was almost humanoid. It was humanoid. Only thing different about it was his face. So it kept pace with me. As I'm flooring this thing, and it freaking gets his hands and like puts it inside the cooler. Well, I guess claws dig into the cooler, and he rips it off the ATV, and then has a smirk on his face like, "I took your food. What are you gonna do?" So after those experiences, we like, we're not gonna be so lucky. We just need to go. So that's pretty much what happened as far as on that property. I also got accused. Also, there was with all the activity that was going on my property, it got a lot of wind. There was people that shouldn't be on my property kept coming by my property. I don't know whether it was law enforcement, FBI, CIA, I don't know who. So that was one of the times when I was actually on my property walking, and as I'm looking, I see when I'm walking wolves, dark color one. I think it was like damn near black, like hunting something. So I'm looking ahead of it, and there's a guy back towards it. And he was hunting a guy. So I yell to get the guy's attention, and this thing was pissed that I did that. So instead of going after it, it came after me. So I doubt it was intentional, but as it was coming after me, this kid pulled out his handgun. He was like 20s, shot at us, hit me, hit the creature, collided, fell over to a ditch, hit my head. And I honestly, it took me a while to actually remember this, because I didn't remember it for like at least about a few days, like what happened. So I was in a hospital, and so when I was in the hospital, I was hearing like I I don't know if this ever happened to anybody. Like if you're in a coma, you can't wake up, but that does not mean you can't hear everything that goes on around you. So as I was as I was out, I was hearing like a doctor or one of the hospital staff talking to one of the people, government people, talking about how's his memory, yada yada yada. Like, is he gonna lose his memory or is he gonna be all right? So they was telling him that it's gonna be temporary memory loss and stuff. So he's like, "What can we do can we make sure that he loses his memory?" He's like, "We don't have the equipment." Something within those parameters.
Right.
I can't. Something within those parameters. So when I woke up, groggy and everything, finally a day or two after I'm able to get my senses together, that's when I was able to put everything together. Like, yo, these people have people positioned in like hospitals for like weird cases and shit. Because the way that they was talking, they wasn't talking like it was new to these doctors or nurses or whoever the hell they was talking to. So, and while I was gone, my wife had told me that some people came by the house saying that I was involved in what's that shit called? Guns, illegal gun. What the hell? Something within those parameters. So we had to get a lawyer. They took my phone, or they tried to take my phone. My wife wouldn't give it to them, and so lawyer fought. They didn't have no evidence. Freaking the charges were dropped, and then one of those agents came to my house to have a talk with me, and then he told me that what they did that in case that to cover their ass because they wasn't supposed to be on my property, and they advised me to sell my property, which pretty much later on I did end up selling it to them, and I picked up and moved to Maryland. But before that happened,
All right, guys, we had a temporary malfunction. The phone went dead, but I'm turning it back over to Luke.
Yeah, hey, sorry about that. So pretty much, one of the agents came in and told me that they did that to cover their behinds, and they offered me a lot of money to sell my property. But I told them that I was going to pretty much think about it. What really, really got me to sell my property was my wife was on her way to work, and she leaves around early in the morning to drive into town and stuff, which is about like 40 miles or so. So one day she was on her way to work, and something ran across her car, which caused her to run into a ditch, and she didn't get her car out. So she calls me on the phone saying that she needs me to help her. As she's on the phone with me, like that, I could hear the fear in her voice as something was over there, something was with her, and she started screaming and crying. So I'm not 100%. I'm barely 50%. So I'm getting there, limping to the SUV, whatever gun that I could hold at the time. I'm driving there. It's only about maybe half a mile or so from the house, so I was able to get there. It was still, sun has not broken yet, so it was still fairly dark. The sun trying to make its way up. So I come to her car, I see it on the side of the road. I get her out the car, tell her to go get in my car. As I'm doing that, this pitch black wolf steps out where the hell it was hiding, and it had a couple of other ones with it. It had red eyes. Like I'm not no expert with these walking wolves at all, but I've seen enough to know that this one was different. This one had like a human intelligence behind it. So, and I'm thinking that this one was like the leader of all the whole pack that kept traversing my property. So it comes at me. I fire a shot. I had I purchased a flashbang or whatever you want to call those things. I threw it in the general direction where it was. I was able to get in the car and take off. Wife didn't go to work that day. I took her home. Went to go get the car. Me and my dad went to go get her car. It's freaking soaked with urine and all that other stuff. And because my kids got their clothes in the bag, their clothes was ruffled through like it got their scent.
Mm.
It had my kids sick. That's when I had to decide that I had to go. Like, yo, it's not. It wasn't safe prior, but I was dealing with it. But now it's bringing my kids into this. So I took the deal. I moved down to Maryland. Not gonna say where, but and I was pretty much just relaxing, stuff like that. And then a few months after I moved there, maybe almost a year or so, when I was like pretty much in better health, I decided to get a job down there with dealing with the wildlife and stuff like that, figuring that I'll be able to help people since I know a lot of like what's really, really going on. I can actually help people out there. So I've never, since I've been down there, only had maybe two encounters. But I would mainly have more encounters with those woodsmen because I did have an accident, and my car was like I ran my car off the road by accident. I don't remember what happened exactly, but when I came to, my car was back on the road, like where people could find me and stuff. So, and then yeah, so like not all woodsmen are bad because I had a good friend. And then I had one of those local ones that are in Maryland that I usually see on a regular. I was trying to make friends with them. I used to bring them like fruits and stuff like that.
Now, was this?
So I don't know if I told you that in the past.
No. This is because the last I had talked to you, you had told me about you had just started working for the forestry, and something happened with some sort of thing out in the woods, and then the incident with the park and your dad. So I wasn't aware of the incident with the woodsman in the car.
Yeah. So I had that. Oh yeah. So I was getting to that one too. I'm sorry. I took up a job within the wildlife and stuff like that. So and I was doing pretty well. Like so, I had a certain my training lasts for a long time. So I had to be familiar with certain parts of the areas and stuff like that. So I was sent to a specific location, supposed to do a recovery. So um, I'm heading over there. I have the ATV strapped to the back of the truck. I'm on the ATV. I'm going to the area, the maps and stuff like that. I run into this. At first, I thought it was just a regular goat. So it stood up, and this freaking thing was just ugly, scary looking thing. So I fired shots, took off, It gave chase for a little bit, then it, it fell back. I hooked my ATV back up so the truck got out of there. I go back to base. I was able to retrieve what I was looking for, FYI. So they look at me like they were shocked that I came back, that I made it back. Like, almost felt like I was set up.
Yeah.
So, so I had to. I was pretty, and then I started to realize there certain people was monitoring my phone calls and my emails because I've gathered a lot of things. Even in the position that I'm in, I've seen things. I've had recordings of things. But for me to they're pretty good at what they're doing. As far because I'm pretty sure they know my background.
Right.
Like because the way how I got the job was, even though I'm qualified for the job, but due to the fact that I was like a year over their age range, and he took me. I'm pretty sure they knew who I was. I think they did that to monitor me.
Monitor you and set you up, maybe. Because
Yeah.
that was crazy. I remember you calling me. You didn't even text me. You just called me out of the blue, and you were like, "Dude, this happened," and you were actually pretty hysterical at the time. Not like
Yeah.
hysterical. You were just like you were just real. It was fresh. I think it was like a day after it happened, and you were, at that point you were like, I think they're trying to set me up. This is crazy because you had said like everything's going good, this and that, and then all of a sudden they send me out here, Jeff, and this thing came out of nowhere, where, ironically enough, you were supposed to be.
Yeah. Exactly. So then I got to find a temporary my training partner. So I was training for a while. So it takes about almost a year for you to get cleared and stuff like that. I forget what the time limit was. I recently got carried not too long ago before I started like going off on my own and stuff like that. Um, so I help people find missing people, try to find missing people. There was a case that somebody went missing not too long ago. I actually told you about that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So when I'm working, like my dad, he watches the kids. He takes them out. They go to the park. And where they took it was nowhere near this area right here, where I had that encounter. Like I didn't even think those things was real. To tell you the truth, I heard them, but I was like, yo, it's just probably saw fucking Bigfoot or one of them walking wolves. But yeah, I'm seeing something like that. I'm like, what else is real?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And for all those of you guys, it was a goat man, straight up goat man. How big was it though? Like, do you remember exactly like some details?
Yeah, I remember how big it was.
Was
Yeah,
it
I
as big
remember.
as Big Red or?
Oh no, nowhere near Big Red.
Okay.
It was like at least about maybe 6.5 feet tall.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, big enough.
Right. Yeah. I mean, anything that big that's not normal to the eye is scary.
Yeah. So the good thing is I never ended up having to go back in that area. So
yeah,
that was the last time that I ever seen that thing again. Thank God.
Was there any mention of anything after? Like, did you bring it up to anybody or like any superiors?
No, I didn't bring it up because at the end of the day, I felt like I was going to be set up. So, I mean, tell them I see a freaking damn near almost a 7-foot monster.
Right.
I'll probably lose my job. But I'll tell you what I did do. I started going to the files because we have files of sightings and stuff like that. So there's in different areas, there's been a lot of sightings of Goatman. A lot. So they know about it, but I didn't want them to think that I knew.
Right.
what they knew. So, because at the end of the day, I didn't know whether I could trust them or not. I'm like, yo, like I said, everything was going good. I get sent to this area. The recovery is within that area. I'm still able to recover a thing. And then when I come back, you look at me like I'm not supposed to make it back. And I'm walking, oh, Luke, oh, okay. type of thing that they had.
Right.
So the thing was, yeah. So one day, this was a while back actually. I was actually at work. My dad took the kids to the park to play and stuff like that, Joe. No, not to play. Teaching them like how to hunt and track and things like that. What my dad did with me. So he's one particular day. They go there about. They actually went to the state park, not in the same areas. State park is quite big, so they're going there having a good time and stuff like that. And this is not my point of view. This is not my dad's point of view. This is the point of view for my son, and you're gonna hear why. So they going there having a good time. My son says that my dad looks up and sees something ahead of him. Well, they can't make it out, but his whole demeanor changed. He told him to go back to the car. And so, because the car was only a few hundred yards away. And so they headed back to the car. He stayed there for a little bit. So once they got a good distance away, they heard gunshots. So they started running. They get back to the car and stuff like that, not knowing what's going on. Maybe 5 or 10 minutes later, my dad, he makes it out, bloody, just like damn near almost torn to shreds. So they call 911. He gets taken to the hospital, stabilized for a minute. I'm at work, get the call from my wife, go to the hospital. They won't let me see my kids. They will not let me see my dad. They're questioning my kids. Got a guard. I'm fighting with to try to go see my dad. So I was able to get the kids, go home, and that's pretty much the story that he told me. So I'm freaking going. I'm losing my shit.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
The next day or so, I get a call that my dad passes away. So I lost the trust. I went over the top. I didn't care no more. I wanted to wipe these things off the face of this earth or die trying. I told my wife I loved her. Gave my kids a kiss goodbye. Told them I'll be back in a few days. I carry the heaviest caliber guns that I can which I pretty much own. And I told you what I own, so that's pretty much the one that I took with me. So I take that with a couple of handguns, sidearms, I should say. Hop in the truck, make sure the ATV strapped to the back, and mind you, I'm on forced administrative leave because of this whole incident. So I don't even have authority right now. So I'm headed to the state park, went to the area. Unhooked the ATV, so I start tracking them. Like, it took me maybe an hour and a half to find their path. So I'm following it. Hours went by. So maybe had to rest, got dark, continued. I was out there for like at least a couple of days. I finally caught up to them. So I see one of them in the distance. It's brown one, about 7 feet tall, some shit like that. So I I missed. As I'm going to freaking, it takes off, so I start taking off after it. I'm on an ATV, mind you. As this thing is like just bulldozing its way through. I'm thinking this like top speed was like maybe, was running like maybe 50 miles per hour with obstacles in front of it. That's how freaking powerful this thing is. So I'm trying to keep up. So I take my handgun out, trying to fire shots as it's running and stuff like that, not realizing that there was two behind me giving chase. So I redirect my attention to them trying to fire behind me. I hit a log where the door stopped, which caused me and my ATV to flip and stuff like that. So I'm pretty much like disoriented. I lost my big gun. I only had one of my rifles with me. My arm felt like it was wrecked. So the one that I took shot at earlier comes to me. Then I get surrounded by the two caught up to me in the back. Then as I'm standing there, like trying to make peace with the situation, that I'm going to die, and I couldn't even get one of these things. Two more comes out. One, I'm carrying one of them smaller Dogman things. It looked like to be a juvenile, maybe. If I had to guess, off it was like maybe 4 feet,
Wow.
4 feet tall, maybe.
How was it carrying it? Like, was it carrying it like you'd carry a child, or how? Like...
It was two of them.
Okay.
They was carrying them. One had the leg, the other one had the supposed arm.
Okay.
And then when they come there, they laid it down gently. Like, I mean, like a human would lay down somebody they're carrying.
Okay.
So that the big one pointed to me, then it pointed to his baby, and then when it pointed to his baby, it pointed to himself. And when he did all of that, I figured out what happened. Or at least I was able to piece together what happened. Shots fired before. I think my dad got spooked, saw one of those things, fired a shot, ended up killing it, not knowing it was a juvenile. And as he was trying to get out there, the parents caught him and did what they did to him. So as I'm looking there, I'm looking at them, I'm pretty much surrounded. So I'm like, yo, y'all already took my dad away from me, yo. So I don't know what else to give you. So I closed my eyes. As I closed my eyes, just like hoping it was painless, nothing happened. So I open one eye, open my eyes back up. They're walking away. So as they're walking away, I slowly roll to my feet, get up, and go over to where my ATV is, because it was on the side. Get it back on its wheels and checking to see if everything good. And I was getting ready to get over there. So as they was leaving, one of those walking wolves had stayed behind. I guess it was like, yo, I'm not done with you yet. And I didn't notice this until it was too late. So as I look over my shoulder, I turn around and look over my shoulder, this thing took a swipe at it. I was able to jump back, but I still caught the gist of his claws. And damn near gutted me. And the impact was so freaking hard that I fell into actually fell into the ATV, which broke a couple of my ribs. Mm. So as looking to go on, prior to that I got a phone call from my wife telling me that my dad did not die. They had a mess up in the hospital because somebody was in the same room with my dad with similar injuries, and he passed away. So when they went to make a phone call, they called the wrong person. So with all the emotions going on, after getting that phone call, I had to call my wife back, telling her that I might need to go to the hospital or whatever, but not telling her what's going on. So I called 911, I gave him my information, who I was, my rank, this, that, and the third. And the, I passed out. When I woke up, I was in the hospital. They stitched me up. I was in there for like about maybe a few days. I wasn't in there long, but I was in there for a few days. Then, when I dropped out, wind of what I did, or what happened, or a whiff of it, I got suspended on that. So I got out. My dad got out the hospital. He was bad shape, yo. Even I didn't think he was gonna make it. He got out of the hospital 6 weeks later.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
but
You
yeah,
know,
he's
really quick, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just gotta kind of say this. Like, when Luke and I were talking, and Luke had shared, like, he had seen these dogmen carrying the juvenile together, you know, and then I didn't know the whole end, and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but I have to say this, please don't take it the wrong way. I'm like, because I know your dad's passed, but that is amazing that they actually care for their own. And then Luke said, no, dude, check this out. My dad is alive. But it really is mind blowing that these apex predators, these killing machines, actually can care for their own. You know, it's just that's mind blowing, and it must be mind blowing for you for all of the violence that you've gone through with your entire family. You know, it literally started with your great granddad saving your grandfather, all the way down to your kids having to deal with this.
yeah. One thing I'm grateful after all of this went down. They hear the experiences. They probably smell the experiences, but they have not seen any of these creatures.
Right.
And I'm grateful for that.
Yeah,
So
that is a blessing. A blessing. So I didn't mean to cut you off. So you're out of the hospital. Pops is out of the hospital. What happens after that?
So when I come bring my we bring my dad home. So my brain, we asked him what happened that night, that day. So he told me that just like any other day, he was taking the kids out to teach them how to track, not even hunt, just track. So he had his he just had his I think he said he had his sidearm with him. He wasn't trying, so he was having fun. They was collecting pine cones and whatever and stuff like that. I probably collected some stuff. I don't remember what the hell that was. That part didn't really matter to me. But
Right.
the kids were having fun. So he said he was up ahead of the kids about 20 yards, and like he noticed something moving in the brush. So the minute he noticed something moving in the brush, he saw the eyes. And one thing about walking wolves' eyes, you know those eyes.
Yeah.
There's no other animal on the planet that has the same eyes as them. So when he saw the eyes, he knew what it was. So he automatically panicked. He was like, yo, I cannot take this chance. So what he did was he shot it in the eye.
Oh,
It was
man.
an instant. And then when he did that, a bigger one stepped out the brush from behind it. And just, like he said, the way it looked, he's like, it was pissed and sad at the same time.
Mm.
And it gave chase to him. And he fired a few shots, but it got on top of him. It swiped at him. And it grabbed him. The injuries, it's from his chest from the left side of his chest to the right side of his pelvis. It swiped at him to the point it launched him. And as soon as he hit the ground, he felt all the bones break. shot again. I forget where he said he hit it though, but he said it was enough for it to back down for the time being. So he called to the car. So it saw him. They called 911.
Right.
I was at work at the time, so. But when he realized what he did, and it was too late.
That's insane. So you get.
And the thing about it, it has his scent. It has my kid's scent. My scent is on my kids.
Yep.
So that's how it tied into what happened with me. It knew not who I was, but it knew I had relations to the person that it supposedly killed.
Yeah, there was affiliation. Yeah, definitely. I'm mind blown. I don't know how else to just, because you don't hear, you think of Sasquatch, like, even though your friend, when you saw him in the North Georgia woods way back when, after years of not seeing him, even though he was hostile towards you, he was protecting his family, this and that. You think of Sasquatch, that they would be, caring for their family, but you just don't think Dogman or Walking Wolf. You don't think that because, it's, it's a pack mentality.
Yeah, it is a pack mentality because you gotta look at it like this. Dogman, that you like to call him, has a higher IQ than any other random animal.
Yeah.
Its IQ, it's way out there. Their intelligence level's on a whole nother level. So, if just like a female dog, she has a pup, something happens to her pups, she knows, she's sad, she wants to help her, but yeah. So and we're just talking about regular dogs. You're talking about something that's 100 times smarter than a regular dog, a regular animal. Knows how to strategically plan, knows how to hunt,
tactful,
and knows how to fool you.
Yep, a tactful hunter.
So at the end of the day, So that was the first time that I ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, and you've seen a lot. I mean, you've witnessed Dogman actually.
I saw the pet.
It broke your door. It knew what a doorknob was to break your door, to get into your home, to go to your bedroom. And
it twisted the mechanism.
Yeah.
It broke it.
Yeah.
It opened it. It forced it open just by twisting it.
Yeah. I mean, so you've seen intelligence of these things, but the compassion, that pack mentality is insanity. It's just like, wow. I still have a picture of the den. I still have that picture that you sent me to this day.
I went in there too.
Yeah, I know. I shared a little bit about that. Like when we'll go back real quick just to touch bases on that. But you went in there because they had the whatever agency had set up in there. Now there was a hole in the back wall. How far did that? That was going towards your home, right?
Yeah, it was going towards my home. It was just going exactly towards my home. I actually went in the hole. I went in the hole against my better judgment, of course.
Yeah.
I went in that freaking hole, and I went as far as I say went down maybe let's see, like 30, 40 feet.
Wow.
And my house is if you continue, my house would have probably been like another 150 feet to get to my house. So
that's intelligence right there. They were like burrowing to your home.
Yeah. And so a lot of people are like, yo, I don't know how I got in my house. But I'm like, yo, it dug underneath. They're powerful diggers.
Yeah.
They're really good at digging. You see how good a dog digs. Now imagine something with freaking claws and the power to move like hundreds of pounds worth of shit
Yeah. Well,
and to
just
make
the
legwork with
entrance.
anything in the way.
Yeah, just the entrance to the den. You know, like the
Yeah.
just to dig the den out. You know, I mean, actually, it was like the way you described it. The agencies had stuff like the equipment down there, and so it's obviously big enough to, you know, house what 20, 30 dogmen
All right.
at times.
Yeah, give or take.
Hmm.
It was a good amount of space.
Yeah. All right. I didn't mean to go back, but I just wanted to kind of share that
That's
whole
fine. If any
den thing.
questions and stuff like that, I'm
Now,
willing to
you after you're suspended, what happened after the suspension? What happened after all of that? Where are
I
we at now?
I got just a few months ago I got reevaluated and I actually did get instated. But
Okay.
I did decide to take some time off, so I will be returning this summer. So
That's good. That's
yeah.
good. And your dad is how is he?
My dad walks with a limp now because when it broke his hip, and so they had to take a piece. Uh, I don't know how they did it though, but they had to take like a piece of bone out. So he walks with a limp. He walks with a cane now. So, but he doesn't. He refuses to go back to any state parks ever again.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
And I don't
Is
blame him.
yeah, is
And I don't
he?
blame him because right now I if it wanted to kill me, I'd be dead. Because you and I both know that, Joe.
Yeah, yeah, one hundred
You know.
percent.
So the reason the reason why it let me live, this is my personal belief. I could be wrong, right? I don't know. Is because it knew what it did to my dad. It knew that I knew what it did. It knew what I was there for. I don't. I honestly, I don't. When I think back at it though, I was just going on. I was going after the walking wolves, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know which one I was going after because my kids never saw it, and my dad wasn't uh, capable of telling me the one that he saw.
You just had bloodlust.
And, yeah. So
Yeah, my that was my
if
next
it wanted me,
question.
if
Sorry, what?
no, I'm sorry. If it wanted me dead, I want to be here right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. But yeah, that question about, you know, your dad if he had PTSD, I'm sure definitely 100%, which must be hard for him because I mean, growing up in Taylor, Mississippi, you know, we those of you who have heard, you know, the prior to what Luke just shared with us, his dad hiked the trails. He had an incident where he made a torch and burned a dog man. Um, you know, he's like Luke in the woods a lot. How the kids holding up? Are they all right? Um,
Yeah, the kids. One thing about kids, young kids, they're very resilient.
mm-hmm.
So it took some time though, but as long as they knew that their grandfather was okay, yo, they bounced right back. So
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's a good thing. I have not had no incidents. I've I I did notice what's this about? Um, what's this? It was like maybe about a month back, yo. One of those walking wolves was within my vicinity. It was within my vicinity. Like one of the ones that was because I reckon I know which one was the one that carried the little one was within my area. It noticed me. I noticed it, but honestly, I felt no aggression from it. I wasn't afraid. If that makes any sense.
no, yeah, I mean,
I'm like, yo, I think that, yo, I honestly think, yo, in a way, we made peace. They told me as long as I leave them alone, they're gonna stay away from me,
yeah.
and that's what I'm gonna do.
And just
I
to
don't want to hunt them. I don't want to kill them. I have. Oh, I, before I got reinstated, um, I I had to surrender my body cam
Okay.
because I was dressed up like a I was dressed up for work that day that I had to go out there. So I was in motion. So I had my body cam on with me with the footage, and I didn't realize I had footage until they asked me for the body camera.
Oh man.
So,
And just so everyone is aware, these dogmen that were in Maryland, this incident has nothing to do with the dogmen from Taylor, Mississippi. These are a complete different dogmen. Just so everyone is definitely aware of that, because you did see a question in one of the comments, or if it was possibly the same dogman. How was do you know
another
what?
thing is,
What's up?
that. I'm listening.
I was just gonna
Hello?
ask if you knew what was going on with the Taylor, Mississippi house. What happened there?
Yeah, I talked to one of my friends that still live up there. They drove by the area. I told the house was gone. It's they put trees there. They pretty much turned it into forestry.
Wow,
So
that's
I
sad.
don't know. Yeah, so even if I wanted to go back up there and rebuy the house, it's not there no more. They demolished everything, and for the time being, they had like trucks and like those RV type truck things out there monitoring things. And then I guess after they was done with it, they put trees. They said in France said not everything is covered with trees, but it looks like just a regular land and
Right.
stuff like that. But it does have fences in certain areas. So
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
I heard somebody is asking. I actually went through the comments. Somebody was asking about was there accounts of dogmen within DeSoto County, Mississippi. Yes, they are. They are in there as well.
Yeah.
Because when I had looked on the map, they traveled along that coast. They travel mainly late at night, so you're rarely gonna run into them unless they're looking to cause you trouble. DeSoto County, Mississippi. So if you're out there late at night, just be careful.
Right.
It's been a while since I've been up there, but that's one thing that they look up, and I look at their migration patterns.
Yeah, it's
So,
they're just
oh yeah,
constantly hunting.
they're coming up, yeah, yeah, they're coming up your way pretty soon.
Yeah, they're
Like a
already
flag,
here.
yeah.
They're already here, brother.
I'm talking about this super pack.
Yeah.
Is
The
pretty much what they
Adirondacks
do.
are a big forest. I'm sure they've got plenty of.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I am blown away with the outcome. Because last I had talked to you, I had
I was in a dark place.
you were in a very dark place. You reached out to me and you said my dad is dead. They killed my dad. I didn't know the story. I didn't know what happened. I knew that your kids were with your dad. Your kids were okay. And you said I'm going to kill every single one of them. And that was it. You
Yeah.
changed your phone
The day
number.
that
You changed your phone number so I couldn't get in touch with you. Um, Craziness. So, but
that day that I called you was the same day that I left out.
oh really?
Yeah.
Dang.
So
Yeah, it's I told Luke, I said, Luke, I have a whole file of you and your family's incidences in my filing cabinet, which I literally do. And you know the to me, one of the most scariest things that your family has dealt with or was the incident with your wife. For some reason, that incident really just creeped me out the most and freaked me out the most, because when you and your dad went back, your kids' stuff was back there, and they had urinated all over your kid's stuff, all over the car, and it was like they had marked their scent, and you knew what was up at that point. You knew that trouble was brewing, and at that point you had to leave town. Um,
Yeah.
I'm glad that your family is okay. I'm super glad that your dad is alive. Uh,
Yeah, I'm gonna one of these days I'm gonna have him call him so you can hear his
yeah, I'd love to.
he'll tell the
I'd
story.
love to have your dad on someday. That'd be amazing if he's willing to. I don't want to. I don't want him to
Yeah, I'm
get.
pretty sure he will.
You know, I don't want any rekindling of bad memories with him though. But that'd be sweet. So, when do you plan on going back? Early summer, midsummer? What's going on with that?
I'm midsummer.
Good, good, good. So now you're just taking
Yeah, I
some
plan on
time.
going back. Yeah, I'm taking some time, and I'm actually thinking about being a field home operator. I want to possibly see if I can get a desk job. To tell you the truth,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm cut out for this no more.
Well, me and you are pretty much the same age, you know, and
Yeah,
unfortunately, the aging process takes its toll,
yeah, it does. It
especially
does.
when you've lived a life
I'm
like
very
yours.
resilient. I've broken a lot of bones,
Yeah,
so a freaking lot of nerve damage. Healed from them, but every time I heal from them, it's like I'm getting weaker. So I want to help people, though, but I think I'm gonna find a way to help them in my own way. The reason why I took the job that I did is because I, if I'm only one man, but if I can make a difference in somebody's life, if they go through this and I'm on the field, at least they know somebody believes them,
yeah.
genuinely.
That's
You feel me? And I'm looking out like a loony. That's the reason why I took the job. Another reason why I took the job, a lot of these people know about these things just from off like higher up telling them what they need to do. But a lot of them don't know how to deal with these things. I know how to deal with these things. I know what to look for. I know how to hunt them. I know how to kill them.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, I don't want to kill them.
right.
It's very hard to kill them. And what Victor, yo, I take my hats off to him. Because I went in there guns blazing, and I got my ass handed to me.
Yeah, yeah. That's
So
one thing
these are very.
I remember, and I don't know if you remember this, but you you and I had talked well before he even came to my channel. And he came to my channel, and I remember doing Q&As, and there was a bunch of stuff that came, you know, people were making stuff up, people like this and that. And Victor had said that he remembered your granddad's attack, that he was there, yada yada yada. And then like 2 or 3 days later, after I told you that, some BS came out and people were talking a lot of crap about him. You reached out to me and said, Jeff, I need help.
About my friend.
Yeah, I need help. You gave him coordinates, and the next thing I know, you're like, I think it was a day later, you were like, there's people in my yard in black. And it was the Dogman that was on the side of the road or something like that. So you pretty much, I was mad because I was like, dude, if this guy's a fake, he's talking about my friend's granddad, you know, that's bullcrap. And then the next thing I know, you are literally like saying, Jeff, these people are in my yard right now. You gave them the coordinates, da 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 da. And I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty nuts. But I'm gonna start I've got a subscriber I'm gonna be working with. I've been super busy. I got to touch bases with her again, but we want to start an outreach program for people that have had encounters with these things and have had that are dealing with PTSD and can talk to people that have dealt with these things.
Okay.
Because there's people that, you know, like it's hard to just, you can't randomly say, hey, my family's been attacked by a dogman. I saw a dogman, this, and that. So I'm going to start an outreach program with this woman. And when I do,
No.
I'll let you know. because I want to get people that have had encounters, you know, involved in it. That way, if someone needs to just, hey man, I saw this thing and I don't know, they can have someone to talk to that, that's there
Yeah.
and has dealt with it. So I think that's going to be a good program to do. But I'll let you know when I start that if you want any involvement in that.
Oh yeah, like I said, however I can help somebody out, because this, at the end of the day, yo, this world is very vast, and it kills me when, because I hunt. Oh, I've been in the woods for years. I haven't seen anything. Yo, how big is the woods?
Yeah.
How many miles? How many acres? What part have you hunted? Yeah, you talking about something that lives in the woods. Its home is the woods. It's like me coming to your house, Jeff, and expecting to know where everything is.
Yep.
Oh, I've been to your house. I know where everything is.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because you don't see them, don't mean they don't see you. If they want you to see them, you see them. So consider, for the people who say, oh, I don't know these things are real, consider yourself lucky. Don't go looking for these things, because you can't unsee what you've seen. And these things are a lot scarier than you seeing a freaking picture of them, because you smell them. You see the saliva dripping from their mouth. You see them eyes with the intent to kill you.
That's one thing.
They always look pissed.
That's one thing I'll never forget. I only saw my what I saw for a brief when it was out of the woods, but when me and my friends were in that cul-de-sac and we could see the eyes moving through the woods, and I'll never forget the eyes, man. It's like this yellowish white color. It was just in the darkness, it made no sense. And then when we were driving out of that road and I saw what came out of those woods, and I was just like, what the? I can never forgive that. I can never forget that picture. That picture will be in my mind for the rest of my life. And it's something that you never want to see again.
Do you know which one is my most scariest experience? Take a guess of which one you think my most scariest experience was.
The black one that attacked your wife?
Exactly. Not even the one that was in my room.
I think it was
They
because of its
imagine it.
Was it because of its eyes or something?
Yeah, it was the eyes, man.
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me.
It made it. Yo, this thing. I don't know how long their life expectancy is, but this thing made me feel like it's been around for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And he knows everything he needs to know about us and how to deal with us. And it was like, yo, there's nothing you can do. He's like, I'll outdo you in everything right now. So
exactly.
I'm like, and then I realized that I still had to So I'm like, yo, if I shoot these things, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
So I'll take the less violent route and use the flashbang that I acquired from some friends who are able to get a lot of off the market stuff. Let's just say that.
Right.
But yeah, and that's till today I can still see his face. It's, oh man.
Yeah.
I think honestly, if it was that against Big Red in his prime, I think he'll mount the floor with Big Red and just wear its skull.
I remember the way you described him. The way you described him, you felt like he knew. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the way you described this creature, it was like he knew more than any other Dogman knew that he was. You felt like he was the leader of all Dogman. The way you described it, it was just this incredible.
Yeah, an alpha.
Yeah, the alpha and the omega. Yeah.
Because you remember I told you about the super pack, right?
Yeah.
About 50 of them, and I've seen him in the freaking pack. He leads the freaking pack.
Yeah.
That's when I was telling those people about it before I sold the house, before I sold the property. Like, yo, y'all need to be careful. Yeah. If the kid ends up, that kid that shot me, he ended up retiring and stuff like that. He has severe PTSD because he reached out to me once.
Did he?
Yeah, he reached out to me. He told me he was the one who told me what was going on. So when he told me what was going on, which prompted his boss to come speak to me.
Hmm. That's crazy.
So,
well, we're coming up on time, brother. Do me a favor, don't hang up. Is there anything that you'd like to say to everybody before we end this?
yeah, I read a lot of the comments, and I want to thank everybody for your support. And I love you guys. You're like an extended family to me because I get a lot of the prayers, and that actually helped me a lot. I've seen the darkest part of a man's soul, and I was able to see the light from it, and it has a lot to do with you guys as well as my family at home. So
Amen,
I want to
brother.
thank you guys. Even if you don't believe in these things, yo, I don't care if you don't believe in them, but yo, if you're out there, just be safe. Just at the end of the day, just entertain the notion that it might be something there's more dangerous out there than you, and just move accordingly. If it don't feel right, get the hell out of there. That's the only thing I have to say.
Very true. Very true. Luke, it was great talking to you, brother. Have a good night, and remember, don't hang up.
All right.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview as much as I did. Man, it was great talking to Luke. I have not talked to him in a long time. Well, you guys know, obviously. We talked for a while after the interview was done. Just shot the breeze about current events, this and that, firearms, and what his plans were in the future, and things that we've got planned. So, yeah, Luke and I have got some plans, and when they come to fruition, you guys will be the first to know. Anyway, with that, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for all of your support. And please, everyone, practice kindness. May the Great Spirit watch over us all, and may He guide us down that path that we call life. Until later on tonight, my friends. Until later on tonight.